Hi everybody, I'm Rick Beato. Today's Everything Music is called Perfect Pitch versus Relative Pitch. Which is more important? There's arguments on both sides. I probably get asked this hundreds of times every week about why can't I develop perfect pitch, or people declaring that they can develop perfect pitch as an adult, or having perfect pitch is a nightmare if you have it because of things that are out of tune, it bothers you. People saying that relative pitch is just as important, it's more important than perfect pitch, and they give the reasons why. Well, we're going to talk about these and try and figure out if there's actually an answer to this. So let's first define what these are. Perfect pitch is the ability to identify or recreate a given musical tone without the benefit of a reference tone. Okay, what does that mean? Ba is the note G. Now, how do I know that? Well, I'm just guessing because it sounds like a G to me in my head. Now, I'm not really sure if it is, but I think it's probably pretty close. But I don't have perfect pitch. I have relative pitch. Relative pitch is the ability to identify a given musical note by comparing it to a reference note. Well, if I know that this ba is a G, ba is a C, because I know that is a perfect fifth interval descending. So I have my reference tone, my G, which I'm not even sure is a G. I have a pretty good idea it is, but it doesn't really matter. That's what relative pitch is about. It doesn't matter if it's a perfectly in tune G. It doesn't matter if it's an A flat. I know that ba to ba is a perfect fifth interval. That is relative pitch. Okay, let's take a look at a list of people with perfect pitch and without it, or with relative pitch. In our perfect pitch column, it's generally agreed upon that Bach had perfect pitch. Beethoven had to have had perfect pitch. Mozart definitely had perfect pitch. Keith Jarrett, for sure. Oscar Peterson, yes. Yo-Yo Ma, yes. And Glenn Gould, yes. So we have composers and we have performers that have perfect pitch, some of which we know for sure that's been demonstrated. But we can safely say that Beethoven and Mozart did, and I'm positive Bach did. Now, we didn't necessarily have a standard pitch definition of what A 440 was. It wasn't, A might have been a whole step lower back during Beethoven's time or during Bach's time. But whatever the pitch reference was, these people were able to recognize particular frequencies and what notes they were. Relative pitch. Brahms was known to not having had perfect pitch. Wagner did not have perfect pitch. Stravinsky did not have perfect pitch. Bernstein did not have perfect pitch. Ravel did not have perfect pitch. It's pretty well known that Charlie Parker nor John Coltrane had perfect pitch. These are all pretty much in the same league of being the most famous composers and performers of all time. So on that measure, is there really any difference? Well, let's dig into it a little further. What are the benefits of each? In this first demonstration, I have a normally tuned piano in A440 concert tuning, and then I have it on a different channel with it a quarter step sharp. And I'm going to bring Dylan in and see if he can tell the difference. Okay, for this next section, I'm going to bring in Dylan, the resident expert on perfect pitch, to demonstrate perfect pitch and relative pitch. Okay, Dylan, I'm going to play some notes for you. Tell me what they are.
E, B, F, A, F sharp.
I'm going to play a chord for you. Is this a major or minor chord?
Major.
What major is it?
C major.
Okay, now I'm going to detune the piano. I'm not going to tell you in which direction, whether it's sharp or flat. I want you to tell me what two notes these are a combination of.
A and A. B flat.
A and B flat, correct.
D and E flat.
That's correct.
G and F sharp.
That's correct. I'm going to play a chord for you. Is that a major or minor chord?
Major.
You know it's between?
C and C sharp major.
That's correct. But let me ask you this, Dylan. Does it bother you that it's out of tune?
No.
What does it sound like when I play that to you?
It sounds like there's a note mixed with another note, and there's just one in the background.
Okay, so what's in the background?
Probably the B flat.
B flat's in the background? The A seem...
Yeah, because the A's like the one you're actually playing.
Okay.
So the B flat's in the background.
It's in the background, fascinating. But are they mixed equally?
Yeah.
Very good. That is a perfect demonstration of both perfect and relative pitch. Now I'm going to bring in someone else to demonstrate relative pitch. Okay, for this next section, I've brought in Lennon, my lovely daughter, to demonstrate relative pitch. So I'm going to play some pitches for you. I want you just to sing them, okay? Sing it louder.
Dun, da, 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 da.
All right, if I play this interval, do you know what interval that is?
Perfect fourth.
Perfect fourth. Very good, Lennon. I want you to tell me if these chords are major or minor. Are you ready? Now you don't play the piano, right? You can't even tell even if you looked at it, right? Okay, what chord is this? This is major or minor?
Major.
That's good. What about this?
Minor.
Very good. What about this?
Major.
Very good. What about this?
Minor.
Very good. So Lennon has relative pitch. When you hear those chords, you know exactly what kind of chords they are, right? But you don't know the note names, do you? But you recognize that this is a perfect fourth. How do you know that that's a perfect fourth? Is there a song that goes with that? What is it?
Here comes the bride.
Here Comes the Bride, right? You recognize that when you hear it. If I play a chord like this, sing the three notes.
Dun, dun, dun.
She can sing the notes and the chords. She just doesn't know what they are. Do you know what those notes are, Lennon? Okay, if I told you they were D, F sharp, A, would you be surprised? No, because you don't know what they are, right? The real benefits of relative pitch are in sonority recognition and melody dictation. Now I'm going to play a couple melodies for you, Lennon. I want you just to sing what I play, okay? Okay, so can you sing this? Very good. What about this? How about this? How about this? Very good. That's very easy to do, right? You just listen to it and you sing it back. And the same if I play a chord like this. Sing it. Very good. These are the benefits of relative pitch. It doesn't matter if Lennon knows what notes they are or not. Being able to recognize these patterns of intervals, sing them back, sing the notes of the chord is really just as important or more important than being able to recognize the exact notes. The real answer is that they are both important. Relative pitch is probably more important because it's something that will last you for your whole life. I've talked about this in some of my perfect pitch videos, even though I've actually don't know anyone this has happened to, but there's many studies that suggest that people begin to lose their perfect pitch around age 50 by a half step, and then by age 60 it's gone completely. There's many stories that you can find on YouTube about people that this has happened to. There's a couple really interesting lectures on it. But for Dylan, for him to be able to recognize sonorities as major and minor and transpose things like that, he needs to have relative pitch. It's just as important for him to have relative pitch as it is to have perfect pitch. As a matter of fact, when I do really complex chords for him, in one of the videos I did with Dylan, I played that chord and then I played that chord. So the first chord was a F Lydian in inversion over D flat sus4, and the second one was D sus2 over E flat major. Now, the reason he's able to do it so quickly is that when I play the first chord, he hears that and he recognizes that there's an F Lydian chord here in inversion, second inversion, and he recognizes the D flat sus4 chord there. So by the time I get up here, he's already analyzed that, and I play that, and he hears the two separate chords there, and he's recognizing them as units. He's not hearing necessarily the notes individually until he goes to break them apart. But he can recognize that that is an inversion of F Lydian because he knows that shape in his mind. So he's actually using relative pitch and perfect pitch at the same time. That is one of the benefits of having perfect pitch and relative pitch, is that if you just have perfect pitch and you can only isolate the notes and you can't put them into context, like what type of sonority is it? Is it a suspended chord? Is it a Lydian chord? Is it a major chord, a minor chord, diminished, augmented? The ability to hear it as a unit and not as just a collection of individual notes is really kind of the essence of relative pitch. The real goal is to develop your relative pitch so that it is so fast it's indistinguishable from perfect pitch. Okay, so you should be able to recognize intervals so quickly that you can just jump from one note to the next and know exactly where you are. That is kind of the ultimate goal and the essence of having perfect relative pitch, if you want to call it that. I know plenty of people that have developed their relative pitch to such a high level that it is literally indistinguishable from perfect pitch. Most people think that I have perfect pitch because my relative pitch is so good that they can't imagine that I don't. In addition to the fact that I have great pitch memory too, so it makes it seem even more like when I sing the G and it's perfectly in tune, it makes it even seem like I have perfect pitch even more. So if you have great pitch memory and you're able to do intervals, then it's almost like having perfect pitch, and that's what you should strive for. That's all for now. Please subscribe here on my Everything Music YouTube channel. And if you're interested in the Beato book, you can write me at rickbeato1@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.